because I'm still sick. I don't do many videos, personal videos about myself nowadays. And it's been a week because I'm doing all these videos. But yeah. Anyways, so I got a comment from user HW9G13PY3Q. Maybe it's just a bot. I don't know if you'll see this comment. However, can you please elaborate on the no such things as empath thought, which you left in the middle as your attention was diverted elsewhere? Thanks. From the video, what the viewers say, who's the bigger psychopath, Richard Grannon or Sam Vaknin? Oh, hello. Say hello. Now, I got that idea from, I was actually called a empath several years ago. I didn't accept that. I don't think I'm very, though I do have a lot of empathy. I don't think I didn't like being judged online as something without someone knowing me. I have good sides and bad sides, right? So it was a weird comment, but um, I know there's a thing called highly sensitive people. If you're talking about is it the DSM-5? Is it in there? I think highly sensitive is a thing, but being an empath is just a made up thing. It's just people wanting attention. Uh, and it was elaborated by Sam Vaknin. Now, I did a little quick research here onto Google, of course. And okay, so Sam Vaknin talking about empathy. Here's a Quora uh, thread about is what is Sam Vaknin's theories that empaths are narcissists, saying that they are void of empathy. Um, Here's a video by Sam Vaknin. Your empathy as narcissistic injury. Ah, let me open up that. And of course, my internet is very slow because I'm running a live at the same time, and because I have a lot of tabs up. Let's see what happens. Come on, Sam. All right. Press play. Come on.
My name is Sam Vaknin, and I'm the author of Malignant Self-Love, Narcissism Revisited, and a professor of psychology in several universities. Today, I will try to explain to you why narcissists hate empathy and why they resent, and reject, and abuse, and torture empathic people. But to do so, first I need to rid your mind of a lot of toxic misinformation and rank nonsense that you've been exposed to online. When a narcissist is looking for an intimate partner, they're looking for someone who can provide two of three S's. The three S's. S, S, S. Secondary narcissistic supply, sex, services. The secondary supply can come with sex, but without services. The secondary supply can come with services and without sex. Two of the three conditions must hold, one of which is the secondary narcissistic supply. Just to remind you, secondary narcissistic supply is simply recalling, recording, and remembering and witnessing the narcissist's moments of glory, moments of victory and triumph over his adversaries, moments of excellence, unmitigated brilliance, genius, etc., etc. The narcissist partner is supposed to record all this. She's like an external hard disk. Her job is to memorize all this. And when the narcissist is deficient, when the narcissist supply is deficient, when he fails to secure narcissistic supply on a regular basis, then she reminds him of these moments. That is her role. That's why it's secondary supply. So in a way, the narcissist's intimate partner, and I am using intimate half jokingly, the narcissist's intimate partner regulates the narcissist's flow of narcissistic supply. When he's unable to secure this supply from the outside, she provides it from the inside. That's her job. And these are the only job requirements. And the job interview revolves around these three requirements. Are you going to adulate and admire me? Are you going to be my sex slave or sex toy? And are you going to service me as a personal assistant, a maid, a housekeeper?
I know this is getting long-winded. Oh, hello again. Trying to find out where Sam Vaknin is stating that empaths are narcissists. He's just doing a long-wind intro here.
Whatever. If the answer to any two of these three, if the answer to the supply plus one of the other two S's is positive, you're in. You got the job. If not, in the words of the eternal and immortal Donald Trump, you're fired. Now, did I mention empathy? No. I didn't mention empathy because narcissists couldn't care less if you have a high level of empathy, a low level of empathy, or no empathy at all. How could a narcissist care? How could it be important to the narcissist if the narcissist does not experience empathy? You can't really care about something if you have had no experience of it. If you have had no experience of sex, you don't care about sex. If you had no experience of being rich, you can aspire to be rich, but you don't really.
Okay, that's not answering the question. So I'm gonna go to the Quora ad here, the Quora thread. Let me see. It's difficult finding where he stated that empaths are narcissists. I'm gonna read the Sam Vaknin Quora thread. Hello. Here. His theory that empaths are narcissists. So let's see what it says here. I'm the adult child of a now deceased mother who had strong malignant and communal narcissistic traits, and a father who was surprisingly admitted that he's too self absorbed. So, my posts and opinions posted here come through life experience, years of therapy, and personal in depth research and observation to aid my self understanding and recovery process. To date, every self declared empath I have met has eventually displayed strong covert narcissistic traits. I've seen it happen so often that I've started to view self declared empaths as a red flag Reddit tells me to keep away. Most self-declared empaths in my experience talk about themselves and their problems too much, like to advertise how their heightened empathy makes them special, and rarely shows interest in the parties when conversing. They rarely will ask how you're doing, but instead ramble at lengths about how their life is hard, their depression, and how unfair life is. At the moment you criticize them, the gloves come off and they rip you apart, seeming to take enjoyment in doing so. Their label for anyone who dares to disagree with them? Narcissist, of course. You cannot have meaningful discussions or debates because the majority of self declared empaths engage in black and white thinking. You are all bad or all good. There is no gray in their worldview. Um, I agree. I dated someone like that. If you look through these videos, my top rated video from 6 years ago, I think, when I first started this channel, 17, 19, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Okay, almost 7 years ago. What to do if an ex stalks you on Instagram, something to that sort, and that's what he was like. Um, yeah. So, anyways, let's see. I'm continuing with this Quora ad, this Quora thread. It's all about image control for these self declared empaths. Personally, though, I tend to identify as a pretty sensitive person. Some in my family might say oversensitive, even. I would never label myself empath. I'm much more likely to withdraw when I feel overwhelmed than go around announcing how special I think I am. I agree. I am also a victim of severe childhood abuse, of which narcissism is the only one factor, and I want to be different from my parents. I personally know how hard you have to work at being empathetic sometimes. Growing up as I did, where empathy was in low supply, I have to actively remind myself to practice empathy towards others. Empathy is a verb, a behavior, it is not a noun. Empathy is something you do, not something you are. Empathy is something you practice, not something that is just magically gifted onto you or to you. This is what many of these self-declared empaths seem to miss in my experience. Like all strongly narcissistic peoples, they want to upsell you and appear better than they really are. Isn't that what they call virtue signaling? Yeah. They want to be 100% perfect and infallible. They want to be saintly. Empath is a new buzzword for saint, really. They want to be thought of as special. This is called grandiose or magical thinking. But in today's world, if you go around announcing you're saintly, people will look at you like you're crazy and laugh or even mock you for it. They're less likely to do that if you declare yourself an empath in today's world. The usual spiel of a self declared empath usually looks something like this: empath equals holy good, saintly, maybe even godly. Narcissist equals holy bad, evil, the devil. The stance puts them at polar opposites, but they incorrectly believe to the narcissist. This belief system is rigid, unbending, and ignores that bad people can sometimes do good things and people can sometimes do bad things. Okay, so that's where the black and white thinking exists. Hello, say hello. Um, it also ignores that this is the same worldview of the narcissist flipped. Narcissist equals holy, good, saintly, maybe even godly. Anyone who doesn't fulfill the narcissist's needs equals holy, bad, evil, the devil. They're both engaging in the same behavioral pattern, the self declared empath and the narcissist. Also, the self declared empaths ignore um, is that narcissists do have empathy. They have what has been identified as cognitive empathy. I certainly saw plenty of cognitive empathy in my mother over the years. Affective empathy, sympathizing with me. However, she was unable to do. Okay, that didn't make sense. I personally would never want to declare myself an empath, despite having suffered years of narcissistic abuse. That's extremely self-centered and arrogant, something I dislike being and view as strongly narcissistic. I prefer the words victim and survivor, because that's what I am, that's what I was and who I am. I don't need pretty words to dress up what is and was, what I was and what I am now. That's avoiding reality. And I'm working hard to live in my here and now, flawed human being that I am. My mother lived a lie her whole life, like most strongly narcissistic people, out of fear of meeting her real self. I refuse to do the same. She too has a strong belief that she was highly empathetic, and she tried to prove this communally through devout volunteerism. Yeah, it's all about what you seem like in the public, right? I agree totally. I don't want to be like my mother, always trying to prove she was important to others and never able to love and appreciate herself for who she was then and there, leaving herself unable to love herself and others well as a result. So it's my opinion that Sam Vaknin, for all his flaws and arrogance, is correct. Self declared empaths tend to display high narcissistic traits and may even be narcissists. They actually seem to be lacking in self awareness, something that is vital in order to truly practice empathy. I try to stay away from self-declared empaths and recommend others to do the same for all the reasons listed above. So that is very well written. I agree with that. I'm just trying to look for. Oh, there's key moments in the video that I just played. Offer for no, it doesn't say anything about. Oh, here we go. Empathy as narcissistic, No, that's probably the same thing. Empath and gaslighting, setting the record straight. Oh, that might be it. Let me try this one. I want to hear from the words from the horse's mouth. Empaths and gaslighting, setting the record straight. Wait, let me see the key moments in the video. Highly sensitive persons, which I talked about. That's a thing. All right, let me see what he says. Just go back here. Highly sensitive people.
Highly sensitive persons, HSPs. But highly sensitive persons are extremely few and far between. They are not a dime a dozen. Highly sensitive persons are not online. They are very unlikely to expose themselves in cyberspace. They tend to be inordinately shy, introverted, schizoid, and avoidant. They are recluses. They avoid the world because the world is painful. They want away from the madding crowd. They're not likely to join giant online communities and sort of expose themselves to ridicule and criticism, to other people's pains and other people's emotions. They're likely to shy away. Many of them don't have an online presence at all. So if you see someone who claims to be an empath online, the likelihood is, the very high likelihood is, that this person is actually seeking attention, is grandiose, and in this sense, technically, is a narcissist.
Thank you very much.
Person is not to be confused with the...
Oh, wait, this doesn't stop. There we go. From the horse's mouth. If you claim yourself as an empath, I'm staying away. Bye-bye.